Hey everyone, it's Linda with What's Linda Cooking. Today I have some leftovers from Thanksgiving and I've put some in the freezer. I've got some like a ham bone and some ham that I'm gonna make like a potato ham chowder that I think you're gonna like. And I've made kind of this before. So I've got in my stainless stock pot here, and I'm only making a little bit because I don't want it for days and days and days. I've got some bacon fat here. It's going to add some great flavor. Not that much. And I'm going to add some regular suspects here. We've got, invest in good knives, by the way. Good knives, best thing in your kitchen. So I'm going to, and I should have done this earlier. I'm sorry. But I'm going to just really saute this with some, the onion and the celery and carrot, and I'm gonna start crying any second now. Any second now. So I don't want the entire onion, but I'm going to chop the entire onion in my twist and chop. I love this. I use this constantly in my kitchen. And we're just gonna, and I put it on pulse and just hold it down, or you can pulse it. So I'm going to use part of this, about that much. So I have that much. I gotta get this off because the rest of this is gonna go into my prep bowls. I love these prep bowls. I use them all the time. And tomorrow night, most likely, I will need chopped onion, and this will be all chopped for me, so I don't have to be crying as I am right now. Normally, you need to breathe out of your mouth instead of your nose, and you won't get that crying, but okay. So then, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to do my celery and some carrot. And the carrot, I'm not going to peel, and it just went on the floor. I'm back. And I'm just going to wash it really well. And that is going to go in. And we're going to chop this up, because that's going to be kind of like the base. And this is going to come together fairly. I love the way the blade goes up and down, because there was a piece of celery that was not catching. And then as it was going up and down, it caught. So there we go. So we've got our aromatics in. I could put some garlic in, but I don't think I'm going to put garlic in. I don't think I want garlic in this because it's a potato ham. I mean, I could. We'll see. We'll see how I am at the end. I might put some garlic powder in. Okay, so we're going to just get that sauteing. Not a high heat. I have a hard time because I end up blasting the heat, and then, it gets all, burnt. And so I only want about one potato in here. I don't want a ton. Because, like I said, I don't want to have this for a million nights. In fact, this ham bone, I might be using it for another soup, the bone itself for soup. So I'm going to actually cut off some of the meat and put it in here just for, a little bit, but it's going to have some other veggies and stuff like that in it. So I'm only going to do the one potato because I really just want this for dinner tonight and lunch tomorrow. So believe it or not, and my husband doesn't eat a ton, and I know some of you eat a lot, and that's fine. But my husband is literally 5'4", and so he's a power lifter, but he's 5'4", so he doesn't eat a ton. I know a lot of guys do eat a ton, but my husband doesn't. So this is going to be fine for him for at least tonight, and then probably got a little yucca. That's a technical cooking term that I need to cut away there. And then I'm just going to kind of cube this. I don't want huge pieces, and I'm not exact. I used to drive my mother-in-law crazy because I wasn't exact and I didn't get every last blemish out. And my daughter, it drives crazy too, because she used to help my mother-in-law, and she's like, oh, you're not getting all this stuff out. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. There's a little skin. It's okay. It's okay. But not to them. So this is going. So we're just going to keep this kind of going. I'm going to bump up the heat a little bit because it does need a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to put it up to low. And I have gas, and it's hard sometimes to regulate. I may need another knife. Oh, and I don't know if I'm going to get, my husband has really gone through a lot of this meat. So we're going to see what we got. I'm going to grab this one. And we're going to cut some away. And I'll be back when I've got a pile of some stuff. But the bone, that's going to be done at another time. Okay, look what I have here. I've got a little bit, I'm going to say about a cup of the ham that I cut away. So I still have the bone. This is going to go in the freezer, and it's going to make an amazing bean soup when my mother comes home. She's in the hospital right now. She loves bean soup. So I will wait and make that. So I'm going to throw this in the freezer. And so that will be waiting, or I'll do it at another time. Okay, so I've got some chicken stock here, and I am just going to throw this because this is nice and softened now. So this is going to go in here, and I am going to bump up the heat because I want this to cook these potatoes. So we've got that. And then we're going to add some more things to this too. And I'm going to add this ham. And this is going to cook for a little bit until the potatoes are softened. And then I will add the half and half and the thickener. So stay tuned for that. So this has been bubbling away, and the potatoes are just about ready. So I'm gonna add my other stuff. I have half and half just because I have some left over. So I decided to do half and half. I cannot do flour because normally I would do a roux and throw that in. However, I am gluten-free. So I'm gonna use some cornstarch to thicken it up, and I have the half and half here. So I'm just gonna put a nice kind of dollop in here. And we're going to mix that up. And we should, and I might have to use my whisk to get this, no lumps and all of that in there. And it's looking like I'm gonna have to. So let me grab my whisk. I always have all of my tools on my counter. I'm gonna whisk that up. Try to get those lumps out of there. I have a feeling I need more cornstarch, by the way. And I'll put another one in. Because I really do think I'm gonna need more. So I'm just gonna, and if it's too thick, I'll thin it out. So, and we're gonna put this half and half. I've got the heat lowered. So it's not going to bubble and break. So I'm going to pour this in, and then I've got some more suspects to put in. And oh, that looks nice. So that looks nice. And we're just going to add some more things. Now I was going to add corn, but I have some broccoli, and I'd rather have some green veggie in there. And this is frozen. So I'm going to put about that much in there. Hopefully this will work. I don't know if this works with frozen. And I just want it, I don't want big chunks of broccoli. And there are some chunks in here, and that's fine. And so we're going to throw that in there. And I think I'm not going to do the corn because I was going to add a whole can of corn anyways. So there's some big chunks and then some smaller chunks. And guess what? I think I want a little, no. I'm going to keep, because my husband will not want all of the broccoli in there. Then I have a little bit from Thanksgiving, my cheese platter. I have a little bit of my cheese. So I'm going to throw that in there. We're just getting rid of stuff here. And I don't want to grate it, so I just want to kind of see if it will pulse nice in this. Okay, so that's good enough. And so this, in a little bit, I'm gonna let this come up to temperature. And then we're gonna add that. And I'm gonna season it. And we're gonna see where we are at with this. But it is looking really nice. I'll put the camera on it so you can see it. So I got this one-handed here. Look. And we're just gonna season it up. I think I'm just gonna need some black pepper because I like the black pepper in it. And we'll see what else it needs. Okay, so I tasted it and it tastes pretty good, but it needs some black pepper. So I'm gonna add a little bit of black pepper, a little more. And then we're gonna go from there. It doesn't really need salt because ham is salty and the stock is salty. So, and then the cheese that I'm gonna put in is a little salty. So I think just the pepper, and then when I add the cheese, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and add this. And this is gonna melt in really nicely. And this is a mishmash of a lot of different things. And you can make this instead of, you know, if you have corn, you can put corn in here. If you have bacon instead of ham, do some bacon in here. There's so many different things. And if you don't have half and half, you have cream, use cream. If you don't have cream or half and half, use milk. If you want to do a roux, do a roux. I just can't. So let me taste this again. Hold on. Okay. Tasting the pepper, not overwhelming. I'm tasting that ham. And then as this kind of melds together, I'm going to start tasting some of the cheese, the notes of the cheese and things like that. So this is how I kind of reduce my food bill too, is not wasting anything. Like most people would have thrown the ham out, or most people would have maybe done a bean soup and that was it. See, now I'm going to get this soup and the bean soup out of it. And it's just got some vegetables and some half and half that I have. And that's it. Cheese, leftover cheese, just whatever, and adapt it how you like it. And that's what I like about cooking, is I can adapt, use what I have, and if I'm diligent and don't throw a lot of things out, I can have a reduced food bill. And when people say, oh, it costs so much these days, yes, it does. Yes, it does. But there are ways to reduce the food bill and not have it feel like, oh my gosh, this is something that, you know, it's a great hearty soup, and this is going to feed us tonight, and it's going to feed us for our lunch tomorrow. If my husband decides to take it to lunch tomorrow. If not, it's going to feed me lunch a couple of days. So I will show you the finished product in a minute. But what do you do with your leftover ham bone and your leftover cheeses and things like that? I would love to hear. Okay, so this has thickened up nicely. And I've got a gluten-free roll for me in the deluxe air fryer and oven. And I've got a regular roll for my husband because I always like to dip into my soup. But let me show you how nice, look at how nice that looks. And these bowls are kind of big. This is part of our anniversary collection. But look at that. And of course I've got a mess here. This is ham, potato and broccoli and cheese soup, all made with some leftovers and some bits and bobs that I have. This is how to stretch your food bill, but also eat really, really good. So this, let me tell you, pretty darn good. Let me take a taste of it. It's gonna be really nice, dipped with the bread, but so good. So good, because I've got that cheesiness, little sprig of pepper in it. I've got the ham flavors and the salt from the ham and the broccoli. It is so comforting. And with winter here, this is something that is so good. And I'm gonna venture to guess, even if you went to your deli and got like a thing of ham, not expensive ham, just regular, and cut it up and put it in here. It's going to cost you less than $2 a serving, because the bag of broccoli was probably, I don't know, $1.10, something like that, and I used maybe a third of it. And then one thing of half of an onion, some carrots, and some celery, a little bit of that, the half and half, but you can use regular milk. So I'm going to say this is probably about less than $2 a serving, and it could be like $1.50 a serving. I don't know. I have to actually add it up, but this is, to me, comfort in a bowl. How about you? What are you cooking up? I'd love to hear. This is Linda for What's Linda Cooking. You know what? If you like home cooking videos and saving money, subscribe and also share it and click the like button, because that helps me a lot. And a comment. I would love to hear some comments. So this is Linda with What's Linda Cooking. Bye for now.